So many possible worlds, but we got this one. So many possible worlds, but we got this one.
Welcome to the worst of all possible worlds, the first and only podcast that goes day after 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 day, and we don't know why. I'm the worst of all possible AJs.
I'm the worst of all possible Bryans.
And I'm the worst of all possible Joshes. In case you haven't noticed already, we are joined for today's episode on the Amazing Digital Circus by two fantastic guests. You know them, you love them. If you've listened to the show for a while, they're the co-hosts of Radio Free Tote Bag, as well as the Frasier Recap podcast, No, I'm Listening. And you might also remember them as coming on our show to talk about everything from Skibbity Toilet to Fireproof, the classic Kirk Cameron film.
Yep.
Audrey and Dono, welcome to the show.
I was like, wait, you gotta do our names.
Well, no, Audrey, that's because normally that's when you yell, I'm sick of it!
I'm sorry to let you down. I don't know where I am anymore.
And they're joined by another special guest, Sonia Burpo.
Oh, shit.
Sonia Burpo would be my DigiCirc name, I think. And also, thank you, Dono, for coining the term DigiCirc, because yes,
Thank you.
as Josh said, we are here today to talk about Gooseworx's The Amazing Digital Circus, a 2023 through 2026 series that premiered on YouTube, eventually went to Netflix, and then finale'd in the theater in an event called The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last
In the legitimate
Act.
theater, the live stage, Broadway.
God, if
Zubul
only.
drop the boards. But no, I had not heard of this show until I saw a news report saying that this theatrical release, this The Last Act, outgrossed The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Let's
weekend that
go.
it came out. And I went, what the hell is this
Okay,
thing?
to be fair, our own podcast outgrossed The Mandalorian and Grogu, and we're just on Patreon. We didn't even get to theaters.
And we don't even have a little guy. I'm the little guy. So, but for the both of you, like Dono and Audrey, had you heard of Digital Circus before? Was this something that you were familiar with, or did you watch it because I made you?
We got opposite answers here, but Audrey, you gotta go first. I feel like you're our expert here.
I wouldn't even describe myself as an expert. I just, through social media exposure, I got, I call it clown poisoning. Like I would see the little clown lady and I wouldn't know what she was from necessarily. And sometimes I'd see the rabbit and I'd be like, what's this? And then they'd be together and that's fine. And
He
nobody
seems so
cares.
sad.
And then my partner, Corla, from Data Transfer, came on, talked about Barkley Shut Up and Jam Guidance.
Mm-hmm.
She says to me, hey, this thing just came out in the theater. I think you would like it. Because she knew forever.
This was in June.
Yes.
Just a month or so ago when
exactly.
it got that big Fathom. It was Fathom Events, right? That released it in
It started
theaters.
as a Fathom Events, and then it grew into something much larger than that. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
And what they said, they go, hey, listen, the rabbit's translating. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. What? And then I would see the artwork. I'd see the fan art because you know, again, social media poisoning, rabbit poisoning, clown poisoning. And I was like, wait a minute. So this is there's like a trans narrative involved here and it's the biggest thing in the world and there's millions of views and I gotta catch the wave. And so I watched it in the course of about 3 days and was really, really channeling middle space traumatized gay teenager energy.
Sure.
Since I watched it, essentially.
Yeah.
Was your initial reaction to sort of seeing the stuff, even before you watched the thing, like when these characters popped across your feed, were you like, wow, this looks like something I might be on board with?
Initial revulsion.
Okay.
Initial revulsion. I was like, I'm way too cool for this. And then I was like, wait, hold on, it's gay? Nah, I'm down.
Yeah. I actually had sort of a similar reaction, Audrey, in that I looked at the art style of it and I was initially pretty put off.
Yeah.
And it actually, it does look better in motion than when you just get the stills or whatever. The animation in this thing, I think from back to front, is pretty unimpeachable. The writing we will certainly get into.
Yeah.
And Donna, what about you? What was your experience with the Amazing Digital Circ?
I had a fun roller coaster lead up to the DigiCirc. Probably about the time that last one came out, I was also seeing it everywhere, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I was immediately like, okay, this is some Undertale, some Homestuck fandom type shit.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all, like, I was scrolling through fucking Beast Guy at some point and just seeing all the fan art and shit. I was like, oh, God. And Audrey, I don't remember how this came up on the show, but I went on kind of a screed on the show about how just like, it's interesting to be on the outside of something that's like ballooning and you see the fan art and everybody talking about it. And I was just like,
I have the exact quote. I bet this would hit, but I am never going to watch it.
Because it's just everywhere. And I have whatever, like cool guy mental illness. I've had this with other things like fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got talked about so much. You know, when like something's just in the atmosphere and you don't know anything about it. And at a certain point, you're like, man, fuck this show.
Yeah, you just don't want to
these
deal.
stupid names. And in my head, I've like created what it is. I'm like, this is some dumb bullshit. That show I fully will never watch. I don't want to like compare those two things here.
Dono, I remember when I messaged you. I messaged both you and Audrey actually to see if you'd be interested in coming on to talk about it. And initially, your reaction was, but then it was like, if it's for a podcast.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. Up until mid last week, I was like, should I just bail on this? My heart isn't in this. I don't get, I dreaded it. Like, I really dreaded watching this fucking show.
Yeah.
And then I came, I'm not going to lie, I came around. It's not a perfect show. We'll get into it. But like, I had a pretty good time with this.
Yeah.
I was moved.
That's
by
where
this.
I'm at. It's to me, there's so many moments that are so clearly like, hey, I'm cloyingly inviting you to cry. Do you want to cry with me? And I'm like,
You
I
want
need
to cry?
to. I need to cry.
Actually, thank you. I would like to.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And so, Josh and Brian, what about you two? I'm pretty sure I made you watch this, but did you have any exposure to it beforehand? Were you also clown poison?
I just saw people talking about it. That's all.
Yeah, I was aware of it online as being something kind of related to the Has-Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss world. And I had seen a little bit of one of those shows. I don't remember which one. Because people were talking about it, I was like, I should get a sense of it. And I remember watching one of the two Hell shows and just thinking like, this is 100% not for me. Like to a degree where it's like, it seems like it's being put together by a lot of professionals, but then the end product feels like a YouTube video. And when I say that, remember that I'm old. So it's like, I think of YouTube videos being like a 2011 YouTube video.
Sure.
Like it seems like almost a red versus blue kind of thing, but made on a much bigger budget with people with
and
more
with so many
technical
Broadway
talent.
stars.
Yeah, with
Brian was expecting Charlie bit my finger.
yeah.
It's crazy now seeing videos pop up on YouTube and you will see how old it is and it will say this is now 20 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
Like
well-
Charlie is 65 now. Actually, you feel old yet? You feeling old yet?
So I had seen the Has-Been stuff, and I had seen that like everyone was, there's a large fandom for it that is all extremely horny. They want to fuck the Has-Beens.
Yeah.
But they all look like bugs. I don't mean the fans, although maybe the fans.
I mean,
Perhaps.
And so I'm like, I don't even know where like the hole / opposite of a hole would be on these bugs. So I don't really even know what you're
opposite
fucking
of
at
a
that
hole.
point.
yeah, the unmound.
mound.
Yeah.
The tower.
Sometimes it's a penis, sometimes it's something else, you know?
Yeah,
It's
it could
like
be.
That's true.
it's just a
Modular.
hole in reverse. Right? If you think about it.
But an
a hole in
anti-hole.
reverse.
Yes.
Anti-hole, yeah.
So I thought that Amazing Digital Circus was another thing that like had a lot of swears that were implemented poorly and was like weirdly horny in a bug way. And I was like, I'm not interested in fucking this like clown thing. I don't think I was really aware of any of the other creatures aside from the clown though.
Same.
Well, I mean, speaking to your point,
People love to inflate that clown. I'll just say that.
Big
Yeah,
and
they
round.
do.
Yeah.
They
Big
sure
round.
regular
do.
That seems like the
Pomni.
main thing is like either feed or inflation for her.
Yeah.
I did not go digging on this. I'm going to have to take your word for it because I will never go digging
It's
on
the
this.
pig.
Yeah. No. but Josh, to your point about YouTube videos being 20 years old, I think one of the things that really struck me about watching The Amazing Digicirc is that the show is lost, and we'll get into the reasons why the show is lost, and also an episode of The Twilight Zone in a little
Who
bit.
lost it?
The fans, Brian. Clearly the fans lost it. this show, as we mentioned, was created by a woman named Gooseworx. She is the creator, writer, director, composer, and voice actor. She first started making YouTube videos back in 2010, and it's a lot of orchestral versions of like Banjo-Kazooie songs and Undertale covers, Brian, which I know you watched a couple of.
Yeah, some minimal animation artwork that I think is her own artwork, and then music that's her usually collaborating with like one or two other people. And yeah, it's like, it's Undertale stuff. It's some other songs out there. Very shortly thereafter, she also made a Deviant Art and a Newgrounds.
Hey, Gooseworx. Yeah, Gooseworx at shitting all over my car. Am I right? Am I right, gang?
Yeah, damn true.
Just peppering in some jokes here.
It's more in the pavement. They're more in the pavement than your car.
Sometimes they shit on your car. Sometimes they get on your car. There's no rules for these geese, Audrey. Gooseworx, yeah, what is it? It works on eating these breadcrumbs.
Eventually, Gooseworx moves into full-blown animation in 2019, which eventually culminates in a short called Little Runmo. Have you all seen Little Runmo?
No, of course not.
I did because you sent me Little Runmo, AJ.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a Mario character that then becomes aware they're in a Mario world, and everything gets very cosmic horror after that.
I wonder if there is another cartoon online about Mario characters in a Mario world.
Well, good news, because while all this was happening, an Australia-based production company named Glitch, a studio founded by the Lerdwichical brothers, Luke and Kevin, off of Luke's successful Machinima YouTube series SMG4, which is just a Super Mario 64 YouTube parody that is certainly a YouTube parody of Mario 64.
Is the G like submachine gun? Like it's submachine gun for?
I don't really know.
Super
I
Mario
watched as
gun.
much as I could. It's a 13-year-old screaming into a microphone with text appearing on screen.
I had straight up never heard of this fucking thing before, but it's been around also since 2010.
I'm sure we're going to have people yelling at us that we don't know about it.
Yeah. Yes.
knowing how everything connected to this thing seems to go.
And I will yell back, I don't know about it.
Yeah, sorry. I just wasn't aware.
Sorry.
Don't feel I need to know.
I was doing other things.
Yeah.
No value judgment on the things I was doing and the things you were doing. I was doing different things.
I was busy doing sick kick flips. I'm sorry.
That's true.
I was studying the blade.
So Gooseworx collaborates with Glitch Productions after they see the Little Runmo and the success of Little Runmo. This thing gets millions and millions of views, and they decide to collaborate on The Amazing Digital Circus, along with the lead animator, Kevin Temmer of Blue Sky Studios, right? So we're getting major motion picture animators into this project. So The Amazing Digital Circus premieres on October 13th, 2023 on YouTube, and it instantly goes viral. Then on October 24th, 2024, Glitch strikes a deal with Netflix to license the show to premiere each episode simultaneously with YouTube.
How many episodes were out at this point?
3.
So this is a production cadence that's actually very similar to VeggieTales, where they're getting like 2 out a year.
Yeah, it's about every 5 to 6 months you're seeing a new episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. And then, as we mentioned, the last act, which is a combination of both episodes 8 and 9, making it a whole hour and a half, was originally going to be released in theaters as a weekend-long Fathom event. But fan demand extended the run to 2 weeks, from June 4th to June 18th, 2026.
Jesus Christ, I just looked up the total gross, $36.4 million worldwide.
Yes. This delayed the premiere of the finale from YouTube for 2 weeks.
Oh, sure.
Fans were very normal about this. I don't know why you keep asking. So the final episode premiered on Netflix and YouTube on June 19th, 2026. And the series has, of this writing, in total, amassed 1.5 billion views on YouTube.
The last episode is an hour long, but the movie itself was a full hour and a half because it was the last 2 episodes merged together. Sort of like what they did with Evangelion when they hadn't finished End of Evangelion yet. But aside from Evangelion, we got to go back a little bit further to 1967 and look at a short story written by one Mr. Harlan Ellison called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
In that story, if you're not familiar, it's the last 5 humans in existence are tortured endlessly inside a computer program by an all-powerful AI named AM.
Not inside a computer program. The computer has taken over the world and killed all life on it, except for these 5 humans that are alive in real space that it has been torturing for, a century and a half.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's very, I think, emblematic of sort of 60s era Cold War pessimism. I will say I read the short story for the first time today. I'd played a fair bit of the adventure game, but I had not read the story until today. I had a full body reaction to it, man. It is an insane
nasty.
story.
It is one of the nastiest
really nasty.
And it's quite short.
Yeah, he really hates people. It turns out, AM.
I would imagine that if Harlan Ellison were alive to have seen the Amazing Digital Circus, he would have sued the shit out of them. Not that he had a case for it. The man just loves suing people. Anybody who had even an idea adjacent to his, he took them to fucking court over it.
But you could get around it by just casting him in your cartoon. He loved being like he was in the I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream computer game. He was in the fucking like Scooby-Doo cartoon from 2011.
He should have been the Bubble. It would be fine.
Harlan Ellison just licking up Icker.
Well, and speaking of bubbles, of course, this is also referencing the original Puzzle Box TV show, The Prisoner.
So let's talk about the Amazing Digital Circus. We open on a PS1 cutscene that immediately transitions into something more graphically complex and meet Kane, played by Alex Roshan, our ringmaster, who welcomes us to the show.
Welcome to the Amazing Digital Circus! My name is Kane. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Kane. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show!
Jingle and silver and peanut too. Rag up the decks and make house more real. Day after day after day after day after day we fly past the moon and the sun and we don't know why.
Something's wrong here.
It keeps looping on itself.
I sure hope this doesn't turn out to actually be a very dark-toned series. Somewhat subverting the light, bright, and childlike nature of the character design and animation.
How could it be scary? It's so glossy.
Kane isn't just a giant mouth with eyeballs in between his chompers and a top hat.
He is that, actually.
He is
That's
that. He is, in
exactly
fact.
what
I
he
knew
is.
I was in for some shit when we start on the PS1 graphics and it dissolves into the higher res
Great
stuff. I was
effect.
like, that's sick.
I have only a mouth and eyes, and I don't have to scream.
Yeah, no, but I do sometimes.
And I do often.
In fact, quite often.
Compared
Quite
to
often
the
he
volume
does.
of the other characters,
Yeah.
I am often screaming.
Also, distressingly, he has a really big tongue that he shares with his sidekick Bubble, and Bubble is voiced by Gooseworx herself.
Yeah.
Bubble looks like a chain chomp from Mario, but is also a Bubble.
Yes.
Sounds.
Bubble, you can't say that.
Pilots are tricky, and this one especially sets up a mystery box that isn't really the vibe of what the rest of the series wants to go for, right?
I think it was a mistake.
Yeah, and that's the problem is like instead of doing gags or instead of sending them on an adventure, like episode 2 feels like that should have been the pilot.
Agreed.
And then let everything else sort of slow burn out of that. Instead, we're setting up all the rules. Just like The Prisoner, we're riding our little golf cart around town and seeing all the penny farthings. Everyone's doing the little salute. We see every part of the digital circus, including the things outside the tent that Gooseworx just kind of forgets about until the end and aren't important anyway.
She does lampshade it a little bit in the beach episode because they do go to there, but they never go to the theme park. But we meet our playable characters, right? The human characters in this world. We have Pomni, and she's our audience surrogate. She is the clown from before that has poisoned us all.
She's brand new. She just showed up and she can't
She's got
get out.
eyes like the umbrella logo or perhaps a circus tent, and she has a tendency to run away from things. We have Jax, who is our Bugs Bunny-esque purple rabbit in overalls, and he's a self-described funny one of the group.
MFs would rather be the comic relief character than go to therapy.
So true, bestie.
Annoying. And I know that's kind of the point of the character. My first note, and my notes are going to change dramatically. My first note is I am annoyed at the beginning of this. I'm not going to lie.
I'm really not on board with the show in its first episode, like at all.
No, same. I was just like, and I felt this same way about the little run mo, where I was like, I appreciate this visually, but like what Josh was getting at before. Oh, under this cartoonish exterior is something more sinister. And I was just, fuck, man, we're still doing this, huh?
Yeah.
We're still doing this. And is it just going to be
What
this
if we
again?
had something that had a sinister exterior and then it was cartoonish underneath?
Whoa.
That's what I'm talking about.
Inversion.
Let's get together after the show. Let's get something going.
I was too busy transvestigating the rabbit because I knew.
Because you already knew.
I already knew, right? So
That's
I'm like,
right.
where is it? What's going on? What are you doing?
Where is she?
Where is she? Are you in there?
It's okay. You can come out. You don't have to be shy around me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not like the others.
We also have Ragatha.
Yeah.
And then we have Gangle. I'm sorry. There's Ragatha.
There's like nothing to
There's
Ragatha.
unfortunately nothing there.
They
No,
really
I'll say
tried
there
here.
is something to Ragatha later on, but not at the
I
moment.
At the moment, she is the mom of the group, right? She's trying to like boost everybody's spirits up and keep them happy or whatever. But deep down, she's probably very sad.
She's mom friend.
Yeah, and then we have Gangle, who is the puppet from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yep. Yeah, the Jack in the Box from FNAF 2.
Body made of ribbon, faces one of the two drama masks, comedy and tragedy. The comedy mask always breaks at the beginning of every episode, except when they want to subvert that. The smallest bean, would we agree? Is that a good
Yeah.
description of
Pretty
Gangle?
small bean. I might argue that Pomni is a fairly small bean, but is not treated so kid gloves.
Yeah.
True.
Like Gangle is always looked after. Pomni gets to be in the shit in a way that I think does Gangle's character a disservice.
Yeah, perhaps Gangle being treated with kid gloves is treated as a smaller bean than she actually is, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, and I would argue the biggest problem with Gangle is that her character arc is done in episode 4, and then she's just around for the rest of it.
Yeah.
I think another big issue is that Pomni has Gangle's thing and then also Ragatha's thing.
Yes.
And she's the protagonist, so they're all gonna kind of filter over to her instead of to those two characters.
Let's be real here. Look at the character design. You couldn't inflate Gangle, no matter how hard you try.
But
You
would just
couldn't
pass
inflate-
right out.
You could turn her into a rhinoceros, though.
Well, Eugenia Ionesco
Yeah, she
showed
does.
that everyone can turn into a rhinoceros, but like
That's
Where is my kid version of rhinoceros?
no, that
Make it happen.
I have not actually gone searching for the Amazing Digital Circus pornography, but it has
Don't
found
do
me
it,
on
Brian.
numerous occasions, and it's usually
What do you mean?
It's usually Gangle that I see because they can turn it into a tentacle thing or a bondage thing. Yeah, there is a very funny picture. This is not a pornographic picture. I guess it could be pornographic if you think about it that way, but like there is a very funny picture of Jax hanging himself using Gangle as the noose.
God damn it.
Because there was a whole trend, I
Don't
guess, for a
make
couple
that.
of years where people
pretty
would
funny.
just torture and murder Jax in their artwork that Gooseworx really
maybe I'm
encouraged.
just sick and twisted, but
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
that's
yes.
funny.
I don't care who you are. That thing's funny.
My poor tragic comfort character has been hung by the neck by another character.
We've also got Zooble. Zooble
Yes.
is made of different plastic pieces, and
Yes.
they are. It's sort of like a adjustable game system of some sort where you can plug things in and out.
It
Kinda
was
like
very
Tinker
90s.
Toys or whatever.
Like the shapes
Yeah.
on Zooble are very
Extremely.
90s. I remember those little like socket plastic toys that were made up of little joints and whatnot.
If you demolished the Discovery Zone and took just some of like the physical decor, that's what that
I was
is.
trying to find it today. I was looking up some of the old software that I used as like a little kid on Windows 95, like the Crayola Studio that's all like just set inside of a bedroom. All of the different options are like a picture on the wall or the thing on the desk. And we had this like Canon software, as in Canon, the printer company, where the whole interface was like a little neighborhood of tiny buildings, and you'd click on this one and find the clip art or whatever. Like, so it's very much in that like 90s, not exactly edutainment, but just like software for kids, Microsoft Bob kind of feel to it.
Now, what I'm about to say, the show does not hang as much on as what I'm about to say, but Zooble is non-binary and uses they, them pronouns.
Correct. They sure do, yeah. I just wish they did more with them, too. They
Yes.
kind of get pawned off on Gangle as being the older sister,
Yeah,
best
Gangle's
friend,
caretaker,
lover?
basically.
Yeah.
And that's sort of their job for the rest of it. Yeah, when we get to the reveals part, it's just like, oh yeah, I guess that's what Zubul would be doing, but I couldn't hang it on any particular
A likely thing for them to do.
a very regular Zubul move.
It's almost like I like Zubul's exterior character, the character that we learn Zubul to be, more than I like Zubul in the circus.
Yeah.
Yes. And then there is Kinger, who I have it on good authority is Dono's favorite character.
Fucking love Kinger.
Kinger's the
Kinger
shit.
won me over with the show. I was like, this chess piece, man.
Yeah, and
he's great.
Kinger is like straight out of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. There is a guy who has just become the insane guy. These names are all very ridiculous. That's because no one gets to choose their name here. It's assigned to them by the god, by Cain, whenever they show up. And they can remember a lot of details about their outside life. This confused me, but they cannot remember their names.
Yes, that has been erased. And the final member of our team here is Kaufmo, who is a clown who did not show up today.
Kaufmo, who specifically is the Fleischer Coco the clown.
Yes. I am going to, as this episode progresses, do my best to not just hate on everything all of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my best to give this show its flowers.
Yeah.
I think that as regards pure animation and character design, this team knows what the fuck it is doing.
Yeah.
These are very confident designs, and I really like looking at them.
But yeah, it's all very polished. Polished in a way the writing isn't necessarily, although the writing can like meet you pretty far for someone who has never really worked in a writer's room and is trying to make a TV show. But the animation is just like, it stands up there with the best of them, right? This feels like it would be comparable to watching Reboot in the 90s.
I'm going to come in hot. And I was still in a bad mood at this first episode. I was like, I cannot connect to any of these characters. Eventually it came around and like I found the animation and everything. I was like, this is interesting and distinct, but just character design wise.
What about you, Audrey? You're the one who you're a resident lover of the Amazing Digital Circus. Did it grab you from the get?
Hang that on me. I didn't think too much about like it felt it integrated in a way that made everything very smooth to me. I was just like, okay, yes, these are the characters. This is what's going on. Like I didn't think too much about it. The first time I really loved something that a character did, first time Jax gets mad about something and his teeth go like his head goes all toothy. You know what I mean? His tongue goes crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, that's good. That I enjoy.
Because what we get is just a lot more exposition and a lot more rules of the circus itself, right? Pomni, our protagonist, pops into existence and keeps trying to take off a headset, which is just not on her character. So we get the sense that there is a world outside of here. The player characters have been there for years, with Kinger being there the longest. And you can do whatever you want in the Amazing Digital Circus, except you can't swear and you can't have sex.
And you can't leave.
Here we have the tent. This is where your living quarters are, as well as all sorts of other activities. These activities may include...
He blue screens.
ball pits, mini golf, and more. And here we have the grounds. Drown yourself in the digital lake or engage in ridery at the digital carnival. Night, day, it's all okay. The choice is yours, a cosmic buffet.
Is that all there is?
Of course not. This is the void. We don't venture out into the void. Not even I know what's out there.
That's
We stay right here, where I can keep my hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you.
Hello, Kane. I love you.
Let's get out of here before the moon gets frisky.
There isn't anything funny in the script as written, at least in the first few episodes.
I think that I can see the gestures at joke. I could see like the shape of jokes here.
Yeah.
Like I feel like actually having watched the series once and then rewatching it, I was more attuned to the sense of humor, so I found more things funny the second round. But I think a lot of it has to do with an affinity for the characters themselves and the way that's a funny way that character said that, as opposed to it being a joke that necessarily lands for me. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that this is the first time she's scripting a series, right? This is her first time writing comedic dialogue.
Yeah, and it's about rhythm too. And like here it's like it doesn't have the pauses and the breathing space in the right points. This is the same problem that one of the Hell cartoons that I watched had. And I don't know which one it was.
The pacing of these early episodes is very strange.
Like 99% of the times that I laughed, because it got a couple laugh out louds from me, not this episode, but were visual jokes, or at least like the visual was driving it home in some way.
We also start setting up here the main conceit of the series, which is that Kane is going to give all of our humans, our playable characters, an adventure to go on. And this adventure is called Gather the Gloinks, where the players must gather little Katamari critters from all over the tent. Zubul gets immediately taken by the Gloinks, so the team splits up into two. Kinger and Gango will go after Zubul, while Jax, Ragatha, and Pomni will go check on Kaufmo, who is the sad clown who did not show up today.
So we're doing an adventure. They're not going anywhere in particular. And our main character who just showed up is not going to be a participant in it.
Right.
She has to establish more rules of the show.
She's seen a big door that says exit on it, and everyone else is like, there is no exit door. What are you talking about? And I guess this is supposed to be the big mystery that we hang our hat on for this episode.
Which did not need to be there.
It didn't need to be there.
It's all like
Ultimately,
too
just
soon.
contributes to the fucking fandom nonsense that made this show so initially repellent to,
But
I'll say
also
all of us.
is what made it so popular. You cannot deny that making something with very, very vivid, very, very varied character designs and allowing for a lot of time to cook in between episodes and throwing a whole lot of, ooh, maybe this will be some things out there. You can't deny that that works.
Hey there, you are listening to a preview of a premium episode of The Worst of All Possible Worlds. If you'd like to listen to the rest of this, head on over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/worstofall. And you can listen to not only the rest of this episode, but our entire backlog of premium episodes, bonus episodes, and if you subscribe at the $10 tier, you will get an extra episode of the podcast every single month. Again, that is patreon.com/worstofall. Hope to see you there.